Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Azultenshi playing the Des Moines in a tier 9, 10, and I'm going to call it 11. I guess air quotes, super ships. Not a concept I'm keen on, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Nobody asked me, so that's what we have. Now, Des Moines, if you're not familiar, is a ship that is pretty tanky bow on, has fantastic arcs for firing over islands. So it can be really, really dangerous if it gets in close and has an island to use as cover while it fires over the rocks. I'm not sure why things are skipping a little bit, but they are. I guess we'll just have to deal with that. Taking a look at the lineup, I would say fairly evenly matched. There is a little bit of a radar edge on the enemy team, having both Stalingrad and Alaska B. Destroyers, well, Summers is a bit of a gunboat, but also has really hard-hitting torpedoes with good range. We match that against Holland with torpedoes that move just this side of the speed of sound. Z-46 and Kitakaza, I give the edge to the Kitakaza. Adriatico and Fletcher, well, I like the Fletcher. Adriatico has its gimmick, I guess. It can rush in and drop torpedoes under cover of smoke, but I like the Fletcher. Estra on both teams and U-2501 on both teams. Yamato, Kremlin, Shikishima, Kurfürst, Kremlin, or Kremlin. Now, Edgar, if you're not familiar, is a super deadly ship. Now, I think I probably would load AP just like you see Azultenshi doing, but Edgar has turned now, and I think the best bet is just get behind this island as quickly as possible. Why Azultenshi was way out here without cover, beyond me, but not a whole lot that can be done about it now. Just keeping the shells on the Edgar. I think I probably would have moved them to the Summers. Looks like he's going to do that now that he's behind the island. And he did wisely load HE. He's very wisely not going to go nose into the island and sit there broadside. But you saw the damage that was done to him. I mean, he's down to 15,000 HP from 50,000. Edgar is a ridiculously powerful ship. In my opinion, way too strong. But, again, Wargaming did not consult me. And now Azultenshi is in the position of having to try and do some damage repair. Alright, so you've got Shikishima and Kremlin in a division on this team, and you can see that they are both in Charlie 4 working in tandem, and you've got a division with Iowa, Kitakaza, and Fletcher on this side, which is actually really good. Presumably, those three players are on voice comms and working as a team. Now, I think I probably would have already thrown it in reverse, but that's happening now. Hopefully Fletcher will be able to avoid the torpedoes, but he's radared, so he can't turn out yet. He just has to stay nose in. And I would have moved forward here rather than back, but maybe Azultenshi is trying to avoid shots from Iwami. And Fletcher just gets absolutely crushed by Edgar. Radar goes down. And we'll get another heal. Now that's the arcs that I was talking about. You can get them over most islands as long as you don't get right up next to the island. I think it's probably time to start running north. And you see in the comments there, Looks like our hero plans to back out here and get a little bit better view. Yeah, I would be running, I think, right now. Iowa, that's a crazy move going out there. He's going to be broadside to a Kremlin and an Edgar. Well, he got his shot away, but he's really going to pay the price for it. So, you know, he's essentially full health, and we'll see how he looks when this is over. You can see the shells pouring in. Azultenshi moves to the HE shells, trying to get something burning. And he's using the island to good effect here, able to stay under cover. AP shells for the Edgar. These AP shells do have a fantastic penetration value. And meanwhile, the Iowa just keeps bleeding HP. And now some of these shells, front shells, are going to just hit the island. And you can see Iowa is now down to roughly 20-25% of its original HP. That was a... We'll be charitable and say that was a calculated risk that did not pay off. Iowa pushing out there. I guess it might be equally fair to say that it was a really bad idea. Azultenshi trying to get that Kremlin burning, but no love yet. So we're 6.5 minutes in, more or less, and Azultenshi is sitting at just shy of 50,000 damage, trying to get some shells on the Edgar. But Edgar is fairly maneuverable, and the player, LOL Kendo, is he's doing a good job of using the throttle to make it difficult to land big shells. There's a nice hit. Switch back to HE. Yeah, that stutter is weird. I don't know if that's a replay issue or what. And the good guys are looking actually pretty strong right now. I mean, they've only lost to Fletcher when he got radared and couldn't turn because the torpedoes were coming in. Alaska's pushing this way, but a lot of the good guys are in really bad shape. Kitakaza, he's a one-shot kill. Right? 479 HP. He's smoking. Is he doing that to try and keep his friend in the Iowa from being seen? Alaska could radar him right now and finish him off. He's close enough. Oh, Kitakaza, that was close. I'm sure he got radared there. And Azultenshi is moving just outside of the radar range. And now that he has smoke, he can just pour on the shells now. Alaska will burn for a while when it gets put on fire. Yeah, I think that's the right move, moving to the HE. You can see Edgar's pushing up, Stalingrad's pushing up, Kremlin's pushing up, and Alaska, and it's just the three of them here. And I'll apologize for the stuttering. No idea why it's doing that, but we're just going to have to deal with that, I guess. Iowa in big trouble as Azultenshi takes a look just to make sure he's not going to go nose into the island. Goes dark, turns back away from the island, and will he risk trying to get a fire on the Kremlin here? He'll be broadside to the Alaska. He's not spotted, so he should be good to go. And now he is detected. Time to turn back out. Narrow that profile. to limit the number of shells that can land and hit broadside. Iowa, you are in big trouble, buddy. Because all the shells are coming for you, and down you go. So, bad guys now have lost 2 ships, but the Kitakaza, Estegutland, even the U-2501, they are all. That's a nice shot. Alaska's probably going to accelerate and get his nose in, but if he doesn't, he's going to continue to eat some damage. I got to aim a little higher, I think, there, Azultenshi. Yeah, a lot of non-pens. Just needs to aim higher, get it up on the decks and into the superstructure. There we go. Aiming a little higher now, that's going to be able to do some damage. And Alaska having angled, but too late. It just drops right down through the superstructure and finishes them off. And, you know, this game probably firmly in hand at this point for the good guys. But on this side, with Edgar, Stalingrad, and Kremlin pushing up, Azultenshi asks, "Save me, please." Kremlin went south, Shikishima stayed north. Now, I'm not sure why Shikishima is where he is, honestly. He can't really get guns on much, can he? And Azultenshi moves south. Oh, Rune, you are in trouble, buddy. You are sitting broadside, well, not exactly broadside, but close enough to a Kremlin, and the big shells are going to come. Azultenshi thinking about it and deciding, you know what, I think maybe not. Oh, Rune. Now Kremlin has fired, so now you got a good 25 seconds, 30 seconds maybe, and Rune does go down. Could be a shot from Stalingrad here to be concerned about it. Azultenshi turning out. The rear guns from the Kremlin miss. And a little bit more chip damage on the Kremlin. So Shikishima is kind of nose into the top of the map. You know, maybe they had a baby crying or so. You just never know. But Azultenshi is running back toward the Shikishima, hoping for some assistance, I'm sure. And what looked like a sure thing still looks pretty good for the good guys, but it's not guaranteed. There's a commanding points lead, but the bad guys now have 2 caps, and you know, it's 7 ships to 5, and Stalingrad's pretty much full health. Edgar is a threat to pretty much anything, and the 2 ships that can do the most damage, Shikishima and Kremlin right now, they're, you know, I think the Kremlin can get guns on the Kura first, but Shikishima seems to be pretty much out of the game right now. Hopefully he'll come back and get his guns in the game. Kremlin keeping his guns focused to starboard. I'm sure he knows that he has a Des Moines out here somewhere. Dangerous to pull the trigger right now. Kremlin's moving his guns. And probably safe to make the shot now. Stalingrad seems to be aiming behind himself. Probably at the Kremlin on the good guys team. And Edgar is safely out of the way. The turrets are back this way. Here comes the shot. Is it HE? Nope. Just not a good shot from the Kremlin. It's about 30 seconds to make a game return here. I think I probably would switch to HE, try to get him burning. But there is some damage from the AP, and it is a broadside target. So, just a judgment call there. Rather than complete the turn, Azultenshi goes into the map edge. Probably a really good thing he did. Although that shot looks like it's over his head anyway. Yeah, if that had hit the Citadel, that might have been the game for Azultenshi. But he's springing it around. And hey, look at that. Shikishima had shells come out. So Shikishima seems to be back in the game now. That's really good for the good guys. So now it is truly a 6 against 4 rather than a 5 against 4. But Kremlin's gone dark, and he's working on securing that cap. Still anybody's game. Kremlin now detected by Leo Colette in the friendly Kremlin. Edgar finishes off Yamato. Edgar's having a great game. And then Edgar gets detonated by Kitty Fur in the U-2501. That's painful. And that Kremlin is just kind of sitting there. I don't see how he makes it out of this, just sitting there. And I think now this game's pretty much over. U-2501 and Hollander at the bottom of the map chasing the clear for Stalingrad. He's just straight up running. Why, I don't know. There's no gun threat to Stalingrad. Yes, there are torpedoes from the sub, but plainly he has an idea where the sub is. And this Kremlin, he's just going to be chopped to pieces. And Azultenshi, sitting at over 150,000, just going to bring the ship to a stop, fire through this gap on the island, and try to burn the Kremlin down. Now he's going to have help here from Shikishima and the friendly Kremlin. And he's detected as Stalingrad has moved up far enough now to see him. And looks to be trying to swing guns this way. Azultenshi turns in. Friendly Kremlin takes out the enemy Kremlin, and turning in probably saved Azultenshi there. This is going to be over here pretty abruptly. We're sitting at 161,000 damage right now with 1 kill, 211 shells on target, 3 citadels, 4 fires. A really well played game. The start was a little bit alarming, I guess it's fair to say, in that Azultenshi lost so much of his HP in just the first few minutes. But he really made a great comeback and kept his ship in the game throughout. So I would say well played. Now he's going to angle in here. Bow in. Des Moines is really tough. Stalingrad's probably going to aim higher next time into the superstructure to do some damage. But this is over as the good guys, just on points, are going to be able to finish this. Azultenshi is going to end up at a little over 170,000 damage. Congratulations on a really well played game, brother. Those of you joining me, I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.